Hey guys, glad you stopped by. It's Wednesday, I'm getting ready to cook dinner, and I can't think of better people to cook dinner with. So tonight we're going to do a crock pot meal. It is a taco and potato casserole. Yeah, I don't even know what I did with it. There it is. Yeah, it's a taco hash brown casserole. And like I said, it's a crock pot meal. It takes a couple extra minutes to get it in there. It's not like some of our ones in the past where we dump it in. We're actually going to cook the meat first to help give it that taco seasoning flavor, but after that it's game on. And we're just going to dump everything else in the crock pot. Well, we'll put it in a bowl, mix it up, dump it in the crock pot, and then walk away from it. I really like crock pot meals. They suit our family's needs. Because it's usually something relatively quick. This shouldn't take any more than 15 minutes to put together, and then it's going to cook all day, which means I can get out to the Amish store that's just a little ways from our house and see about my apples, and I can get some stuff done around the house here, and I still have to go to the grocery store. I gotta get some stuff to do a wedding cake that's quickly coming upon me, which I'm excited for. Wedding cakes, it's not gonna be, I don't think, horribly difficult, but there's a lot to it. So that's gonna be fun, but I gotta get the stuff to make it. As far as the bases and the pillars and all that stuff go. And yeah, so this really suits our needs. Chris has to work, kids are at school. Nobody really has time to cook through the week. Wednesdays are my Saturdays. So I do Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and that's why we cook and bake together on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So anyhow, that being said, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. I am. I hope you get something out of this video. Check out some of my other videos. If you're returning, thank you. If you are one of several new subscribers, thank you very much. That means that we can watch our neighborhood continue to grow. It gets us out in the algorithm. Speaking of the algorithm, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, comments always welcomed. Always welcome, whether it be here or on the Facebook group. Either way, all I ask is you keep it polite. It's okay to disagree, but just keep it polite. So that being said, why don't we head down to the counter now, and we'll start putting this bad boy together. All right, hold on for me just 1 second. Okay, so down here at the countertop, stovetop and countertop, and as always, got my recipe written down. If we like it, we'll keep it. If we don't like it, we throw it away. If we think we can change it, we most certainly will. So first thing we need to do is I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef right here. This is 80/20. If you can find a leaner one in this case, because we're going to drain the grease off of this. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to brown this hamburger up and get it crumbled. So we want it crumbled and brown, just like we're making sloppy joes or anything else. Alright, so we got our meat is browned up and looking nice. So the next thing we want to do to this, I've got 1 ounce, it's a 1 ounce package or a package of taco seasoning, but I've got 1 ounce because I bought a bulk thing of it. Or you can make your own if you do. We do, but lately it's been cheaper just to buy the bulk than it is to actually make it. But we're gonna put that in there. We'll give it a good stir right quick. Like I said, I drained all my excess grease off and water, oddly enough. Not sure exactly how that happened, but there was a little bit of what looked like water in my hamburger. I hope that's not a sign of major corporation things to come. But got that mixed in, and then we're gonna add 2/3 cup of water, just like such. And give that a good stir, and then we're just going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes. And what we're looking to do is I don't know what's so different about like a store-bought taco seasoning versus a put it together yourself taco seasoning, but that actually helps activate the seasonings. Normally it's the oil or the grease that helps activate it, or maybe I don't know. I don't know the reasoning and the rationale behind it, but that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna turn this down a little, and we're gonna let that simmer. Meanwhile, we are going to make the rest of the stuff that is gonna go into the crock pot. We're gonna put it all together now. So I've got a large mixing bowl, and in this large mixing bowl, I am going to put 8 ounces of sour cream right there, and you can buy 8-ounce containers. I mean I don't, because we use a lot of sour cream in our house. The kids and Chris like to put it on their meals when we have something that requires it, and I do a lot of cooking and baking with sour cream. So to that, we are going to add 1 10-ounce can of Rotel. And it's the, I don't think they make anything different, but it's their green chilies and tomatoes. I've got 1 10-ounce can, 10.5-ounce can of cheddar cheese condensed soup that we're going to throw in there. Which, I have, and we have a lot of recipes, like I'm talking hundreds of recipes. And I bet you I only have 3 that actually call for condensed cheddar cheese soup. I don't even know if it's something you would actually make soup with. But anyhow. And then I've got 1 10-ounce can of cream of chicken, which I am going to learn how to make my own. I found a recipe. I haven't looked at it yet, but I found a recipe. And I want to see what it's like to make my own. Maybe that's something you guys do, maybe it's not, but do you guys like to learn how to make something just to see that you know how to make it? It's like something cool to know. All right, and then we got 1 can, 15-ounce can of corn, and do that, and then we'll get this mixed up. And then that way, all we have left to do is 2 things. We gotta just put the hamburger in here and throw it in the crock pot. So when I come back, we'll put the hamburger in and throw it in the crock pot. Okay, so just to show you that I'm human, because I am, and just like anybody else, I forget things. I don't have a producer or a director or things to tell me to keep going. So, but my meat is done. We let it simmer for a few more minutes. It looks really, really good, but we forgot to add some ingredients into this lovely bowl. And we're gonna start with the potatoes. I have got a 2-pound bag, 32 ounces of just the cubed up hash browns, right? So, cubed up hash browns, right there. And we're gonna put that in there. And it does take the full 2 pounds. According to the directions. And then I have to add, now the original recipe called for 1 can of black beans drained and rinsed. Chris does not care for black beans, so we use pinto beans instead. That still gives it something that would go with tacos, because that's what refried beans are made out of most of the time. And then I have got 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese that I am going to put in here also. And then we're going to give this a good stir. Okay, so I gave that a good stir, and now it kind of looks like a festive salad, which is kind of cool. Almost like a festive potato salad. So now all we have to do is add our hamburger in here, and that is a little warm. So let me grab the handle holder there. And we're gonna put our meat in here. And when I was reading the recipe, it said to put this together in a bowl and then put it in a crock pot, and I thought, that's kind of silly. Why would you do that when it's all got to go in the crock pot? Well, then it hit me. In the recipe, it tells you to take the crock pot and spray it with a non-stick spray. Well, if we mix this all up in the crock pot, then it'll pretty much knock off the non-stick spray. So we get this all, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly mixed up. Obviously it's going to go in the crock pot, but we want to give it a good, head start at any rate. So we've got that in there. So the next thing we need to do is grab our crock pot, which is right behind me. And if you are new to my channel, you have seen my entire kitchen. My kitchen is literally 8 feet wide, or 15 feet wide by 8 feet deep. Not a very big kitchen. So we'll go ahead and get our crock pot out. We are working on building new kitchens though. We're actually building 2. Give that a good spray. We're gonna put one in the basement and one up here. That way we got plenty of space to cook with. And then we're gonna take, after we get our spray in there, we'll go ahead and put our mix in. I know it looks really good and it's not even cooked yet. That's just crazy. Alright, got that in there. And like I said, if it's not perfectly mixed, you're okay. It's okay. It makes a fair amount. I did learn by reading the kind of some of the side notes on this recipe. And I'll tell you right here who it came from. I got it off, I believe, Southern Living, but I don't remember the person's name that, or no, I'm sorry, it was called Plain Chicken was the name of the site. And once again, I still don't remember the person's name that runs it, but the site itself is called Plain Chicken. They cook everything. But got that smoothed out, looking good. Get this plugged in real quick. Get a lid on it. Oop. Get a lid on it. I'm a train wreck today. And we're gonna turn her on. All right. So, all that's left to talk about before we reconvene to try it is how long do we cook it for. So you have a couple options. I'm using option number 1, which is cook it on low for about 8 hours. You could cook this on high and it would take about 5 to 6, but I wanted to cook all day so that way I can get my chores done, so to speak. So I got this on low. I'm gonna let it cook for 8 hours, and when I come back we will take a look at it and try some. Alright, I'll see you here in just 1 second. Alright guys, moment of truth. It's been on for at least 8 hours. At least. Maybe 8.5. It was on warm when I came, on its warming function when I came in. I think that is the greatest feature of this particular slow cooker. So let's go ahead and take the lid off, see where we're at. Oh yeah. Just like I thought we'd be. Kind of a mess, but not really. Hey, that's one of the weird things about slow cookers. For the most part, at least every dish I've ever made, you gotta kind of, it always looks rough until you stir it up. But at the same time, it doesn't look bad, now does it? Oh yeah. I know it smells fantastic. So I had one kind of odd thought while this was cooking and I was outside doing my thing and going to the grocery store and whatnot, is why exactly does it have cream of chicken in it and beef? I mean, it made sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense, right? It's kind of weird. So the things you could have with this is, that just looks really good. In my humble opinion, it could probably use a little more green and red in color. It's got a fair amount of orange and yellow, hints of red, but that's okay because I'm going to dress it up, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and get this plated up. I've got like 20 people waiting off in the wings. Well, not really 20, but 3 who are starving to death like they haven't eaten in 6 months. And if you know anything about our household, you know we've eaten within the last 6 months. So we'll go ahead and get that on a plate. But things you could eat that serve this with, you can put it in a bowl, serve it with some Fritos or tortilla chips. You could eat it with tortilla shells, you know, soft shells, burrito shells, whatever. You could also put this on the side with some Mexican rice and some refried beans would be really good, I believe. As far as toppings go, I'm sure Chris is going to put sour cream on hers. I am not. I am, on the other hand, going to take some of this salsa that I just made. I made fresh salsa today. Well, actually, I just made it like 15 minutes ago. But there we are right there. And it's just tomatoes, onions, cilantro, jalapenos, lime juice, and cumin, pinch of cumin, salt, pepper to taste. And there's something else in there, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, Mexican oregano. So, and I'm going to top it with that, which is why I said I'm not horribly worried about the red. And I also think that if I make this again, I'm going to use tater tots instead of hash browns. You can also use shredded hash browns. I don't know if I told you that way back in the beginning or not, but you can. But at any rate, there is our dish. You can also fresh cilantro on there, and if I had some, because I used the rest of what I had to put in the salsa, I would top it with that. I am also going to put some jalapenos on it as soon as I get out to the fridge to get some, because I have some. You know, or if you don't have you could use a store-bought salt. There's a million and one ways to top dishes like this. As I said, the world is your oyster with dishes like this. But anyhow, let's give this a shot. And as it cools down a little bit, it's going to thicken up. Like as it sits there with the lid off of it, because the cheese is cooling off and the cheese will get a little firmer. But we're going to try it piping hot so it'll help my face.
Good?
Yeah. It's real good. It's hot. I'll give it that. It's definitely hot. So with the pinto beans in it, it actually tastes like it's got refried beans in it. I think they cook down a little soft. I mean, you can still see them. They're solid enough you can still see them. But it tastes just like I took it and put it over top of my refried beans and mixed it together. That's good. I don't know what else. I don't think anything else would go with this. Maybe some hot sauce, some jalapenos. Yeah, I think that's about it. So give this a try. I'm going to give this 2 thumbs up. It's a good dish. I don't think I'd change a whole lot of anything other than maybe, like I said, adding some more green to it. Potentially a green pepper, which it even mentions that in there. Onion, green peppers, you can throw in there. I would add some cilantro to it in the beginning. And even if you wanted those things to stay a little crisper, about halfway through cooking, or even an hour or two before cooking is done, then add your green peppers, add your cilantro. That way you still get the flavor of them, but they won't melt. I guess is what I'm getting at. So anyhow, give this a try. Let me know if you do. I would be curious to what you do to it, because I got some ideas of what I'm going to do in the future. And when we make this again, I'll let you know, and we can talk about it. So tomorrow for dessert, I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be one of 2 things, but I don't know which yet. So actually, it could be one of 5 things. I have a whole laundry list of baked goods I want to do, along with, dinners forever. But so I'm not sure which one we're going to do yet, but we're going to do one of them. I almost guarantee it's going to be not good for your health, probably give you diabetes, make your teeth fall out, because that means it tastes tender and delicious in the baking world. So till tomorrow for dessert, I love you. I love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else that you love them and that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. You know, it's going to make them feel a whole lot better. It's going to make you feel good to tell them, I guarantee it. And, you know, if you make them some of this hash brown taco and hash brown casserole, they're gonna know it. It's gonna give you lots of good conversation. You know, they'll want to stop, sit down, have a bite to eat, and hear about how your day was, just like you're gonna want to hear about how their day was. So till tomorrow for dessert, I love you. Talk to you then. All right? Bye.